Given diminishing returns or cycle, what level of return might we look forward to in the next cycle once Bitcoin bottoms? So good question. Again, black swan after black swan. Looking at the market today, SI is very weak, which could be related to another shoe that could drop. But I don't think we'll see anything as big as the FTX blew up. That's a $10 billion hit. Not that it really impacted Bitcoin, but I don't think we're going to see something quite that bad. So let's look at a slide I put together a little while ago. This is kind of based on my Bitcoin fifths theory. And here, I think next cycle, conservatively, we could get to 81,858, which is pretty good. And going forward to the fifth halving 2028, 424, sixth halving 2032 is 863. It's very funny because the very first price prediction model I did for Bitcoin was back in the year 2017, 2018, and I had forecasted $113,000 Bitcoin price by 2030. Back then, Bitcoin was a lot cheaper, but it goes up. And the reason I think it goes up and the reason it could stay flat is the following. It's basically based on activity and Metcalfe's law. So today, you can see the Bitcoin active wallets are 960,000 active wallets on the Bitcoin blockchain. It's down from a high of about 1.25 million, which I think hit around a couple of years ago. MT, thank you. And yes, I'll cover your paper Bitcoin. But let's fast forward these users to Metcalfe's law, because the value of the asset is a function of the usage and the number of participants on the network. That's why I'm very intrigued by layer ones, and I'll talk more about them in a second. But this is my Metcalfe's conservative price prediction model. And it's good to see a lot of people out there like Mark Yusko and others talking about Metcalfe's law. But the key takeaway from here is if Metcalfe's law holds, which it does for all other industries, the conservative model has Bitcoin reaching, wait for it, it sounds a bit crazy, 3.4 million by the year 2030. But that assumes the increase in usage follows the trend that we've had since the beginning of time over the past 11, 12 years. Now, that also assumes over 1 billion users, active users on the actual chain. Now, cutting that in half from 1 billion users down to 500 million, this would get us to $1.5 million Bitcoin price. But remember, one of the fascinating things that's always fascinated me about Bitcoin is the scarcity. And we'll talk more about scarcity in a minute too, about how much is left on exchanges. It hit a new all-time low. But adoption is the key, and the adoption needs to go up 500x from today for that price to be achieved. Therefore, I'm sticking with a much more conservative price of $80,000, $81,000 for the next cycle. That would be sometime in the year 2024. I do believe we could hit about 61, 62K by April 2024. And that is right at the halving, April, May 2024. After that, a bit of a run. But then people are much smarter now. They get smarter every year. They anticipate the halving. So that could be front run as well as we go forward. But can you imagine for a second, this is Bitcoin getting to 1 billion users. What if a layer one blockchain could get to 1 billion users? What would that be worth? Same deal. Market cap is the same. It's all about the network and usage. And so we'll watch this carefully.